Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hamid. I'm Nigeria Dynamics 365 user group, and then good to have you here. And then I'd like to questions, which is Dynamics 365. Okay, so this is Dynamics 365 series, and today is the first day of this series, and then we'll be having our Nancy Tandy, who is going to take us through today's topic: training and certifications opportunities for Dynamics and Power Platform. So this is gonna be she's gonna tell us today career path. Those because I have a lot of questions. I've a series of questions around the career path in Dynamics 365 and then the Power Platform, what certifications and all that. So that's why we're bringing Nancy to start with these Dynamics 365 series today. So she is a senior business strategy manager, worldwide learning at Microsoft, and then she's so resourceful when it comes to Dynamics learning platform. And then she has been so wonderful in terms of providing resources and providing Q&A regarding career paths, and then on some certifications, especially when it comes to Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. So I hope we're going to learn a lot. I'm pretty sure that we're going to learn a lot from her today. She's quite resourceful in this part, and then she's very skillful as well. So thank you, Nancy, for letting me have the floor now.
Okay, you broke up there a little bit, but that's great. Thank you so much. I'm gonna share my screen again. So let me know when you can see it.
Yes, I can see the screen.
You can see it? Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Let's see if we get the slides to move. There we go. Again, thank you for letting me have the opportunity to speak with you this morning. My goal today is to talk a little bit about Microsoft certification, kind of our business value and vision for Dynamics 365 as well as Power Platform. I'm going to dive deep into kind of some of the certification products that we currently have and that we're offering. I want to kind of open by discussing our digital transformation. This is kind of the why behind all of our certification programs. You know, even now with what is happening in our world, we still see the importance of skilling ourselves, our customers, our partners, and future generations. We are still prioritizing skilling and certifications as a company, and that is not going to change. And we're going to continue to do that as we believe investing in, you know, training our teams, your employees, yourselves. You know, this is the future of our company. We also really believe that certification benefits everyone, from employees to teams to employers. You know, for example, when an HR manager or a company is hiring someone and there's a huge demand of people trying to apply for jobs, you know, they're going to look at those that are skilled, that have the resources, and certification is one of the best ways to kind of separate yourself and showcase that experience and those resources that you have from those that are inexperienced and don't have those resources. So we truly believe in certifications and training, and we think it will help you, it helps us, and we think it helps everyone. Okay. So I'm going to dive into kind of what we call our approach to skilling. And this may be familiar to some of you, and it may not be, but we've kind of redefined our learning offer with digital transformation goals in mind. We aim to help our customers build the right team needed to thrive as a digital company. The first step is to kind of understand the roles that are needed for digital transformation. What each of them must know, what kind of skills they must have. So we perform what we call a job task analysis. And we rely on not just our expertise, but the knowledge and technology expertise of our customers, our partners, our MCTs, and we listen to what the market is kind of asking for, and we look for support from these external expertise and analysts. So we put together a group of SMEs, and we perform this, what we call this job task analysis. We start with kind of the market research, and we ask the questions like, how common is this role in the field? What does this need? Where does a need for skilling exist? Once we kind of hone into that on business applications role with the greatest demand, we perform the job task analysis. We bring those subject matters people in, like we said, into a room, and we spend an entire week announced digitally. We've been doing it before where we bring them into the company, and now we're actually doing all these digitally. But we spend an entire week diving into every single task that they need to perform in their job. So it's a very kind of thorough process that we do. We leave the session with a big master list of skills, hundreds and hundreds of lines in an Excel document. And this spreadsheet is kind of our main output. But we leave with a lot of useful information that we get from the SMEs, insight into the kind of structure the training needs, where a hands-on experience is necessary for learning, and the time an instructor might need to effectively teach each task. This effort that we do is kind of the blueprint for all the learning content we create, and then we pull in through a variety of formats as a simplified, aligned learning experience. And this kind of, these outputs that kind of inform what we call our comprehensive learning experience. And that includes our self-paced online training, which is Microsoft Learn. We do like large scale, they inform large scale events such as Open Hacks or Ignite. We also do like an event kind of in a box as well. And then we also do some trainings that like a one-day training that's maybe like a fundamentals. And so all that kind of informs that classroom curriculum. It also informs our instructor-led classroom curriculum, which is our ILT courseware, our Microsoft official courseware. And then finally, those tasks are what the candidate is tested on in the actual certification exam. Oh, sorry. Flipped the slide too soon. This process kind of ensures that all of our learning experiences are completely aligned, and it's a great kind of selling point to speak into the accuracy of Microsoft certifications. So as you can see, again, it's self-paced online events, classroom, and certification all comes out of one job task analysis, so it's very aligned. Okay, so I want to dive in a little deeper into the certifications around Dynamics and Power Platform. First, I want to talk a little bit about the two types that we have. We have the fundamental certifications, which some of you may be familiar with. These certifications kind of validate the foundational understanding of Microsoft technologies. They're more of a springboard into the deeper role-based learning paths and certifications. And the experience is typically isn't really required to pass a certification, but fundamentals is, I think of it as a good place to get features and functionalities. So someone like me that's a marketing person, it's a really great kind of starting point to kind of learn everything that you need to know around Dynamics and Power Platform. And then our role-based is the other type of certifications we offer. In the role-based, we focus on the solution rather than just the products. So if you pass a role-based exam, you're considered qualified to work in the industry on Microsoft platforms and technologies. These are really more rigorous, so experience is required. For an associate level role, we recommend having about 2 years experience. And for the expert level role, we really look at having more like 3 to 5 years experience. So anyway, that's just kind of a little bit about the two types that we have. Again, for fundamentals, you don't really need to have any kind of real world experience. It's more something for like a high level executive, or it's a really good place if you're brand new to Dynamics and you're brand new to Power Platform and you want some information about it. That's a great place to start. right. So these are the business application certifications that we have released currently in market. Our certifications kind of prove that a person has the skills to help organizations maximize their capabilities of the cloud to achieve kind of that desired business outcome. We update these certifications regularly. In fact, we just are finishing up what we're calling JTA Palooza. So we're doing a lot of refresh on most of these. Our certifications remain technically accurate and relevant, and we try to update about every 2 months. And then we also add additional roles and specialties as the market kind of requires. For those of you that are interested in Power BI, we just announced last month a new data analyst role. The data analyst role kind of enables businesses to maximize the value of their data assets by using Microsoft Power BI. As a subject matter expert, data analysts are responsible for kind of designing and building scalable data models, cleaning and transferring data, and then kind of enabling advanced analytical capabilities. And it's a really great role. I believe the Learn content and the ILT content is coming. And I don't have a date exactly on when the exam will come out, but as I said, we did announce this role last month. It sits in 2 buckets. So if you're familiar with our websites, it's got a little bit of Azure in it, and then it's got a little bit of Power BI. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can make this go ahead, and there we go. I'm gonna dive into, this is what I call our exam structure slides for Dynamics and Power Platform. So for our model-driven apps in Dynamics 365, we have 2 fundamentals currently. We have what we call our MB901, which is our Dynamics 365 fundamentals. And then we have our PL900, which is our Power Platform fundamentals. So again, those are a great way if you're new to either area, that it's a great way to kind of start and get a familiar springboard into it. And then when you hit our associate level, which we call our customer engagement side of the house, you'll see we have what we call a core exam. So if you're going to take any of the associate levels, you have to pass the MV300, which is our core Power Platform and Dynamics 365 exam. And then from there, you would take an application exam. So for instance, if you're interested in marketing, once you pass the core exam, you would take the MB220, which is the Dynamics 365 marketing, and then you would become certified as a marketing functional consultant. Once you take that core exam, it counts towards all the other app exams. So it's really great, but it ends up that you have to take 2 exams to get that certification. And then if you look to the right, where our expert level is, we do require that you have a functional consultant or a developer certification. So the MV400 is our developer certification, and for MV600, you will have to have that certification or one of the other functional consultants. So you end up taking 3 exams to become an expert level, or to be Dynamics 365 and Power Platform Solution Architect Expert certification. And then similar is our F&O side, or our operations side. We only have 1 fundamentals. You take the MB901, the Dynamics 365 fundamentals. But then we do have a core exam, MV300. So that's our core finance and operations. And again, you have to have that one for any of the associate level exams. And then for our expert on the right, you would definitely have to still take a functional consultant certification or have our developer certification. And then you would dive into the MB700, which is our solution architect exam, to become certified as an expert in F&O solution architect. All right, so I want to switch gears a little bit and dive deeper into the model-driven apps in Dynamics 365. I'm not going to touch really on the fundamentals today, but really focus more on the technical training, because I think you guys are all pretty familiar with fundamentals. There are 4 applications that focus on the customer engagement. meaning sales, marketing, customer service, and field service. And I'm going to run through the fishbone diagrams individually so you can get kind of a high-level view of the topics that each exam covers, and hopefully you'll find a best fit for yourself. MV200 is the Dynamics 365 sales exam. You'll notice at the top of the fishbone relates to the MV200 exam, which is the common prerequisite across all the model-driven application exams that we talked about. So that line will stay the same across the next couple of slides. That exam covers a lot of configuration and implementation concepts that are important no matter which application you're focusing on or using at the time. The high-level concepts in MV200 are UI design, entitles, data, security, integrations, and deploying the product. So there's a lot going on there. The MV210, which is the Dynamics 365 sales, covers kind of that configuring sales specifically. It will, definitely dive into all the sales stuff, like the core sales and entities like contact, accounting, lead or opportunity, and the lead to order process that any sale would move through in this application. So that's really kind of a view of what the Dynamics 365 sales covers. All right, so marketing, MV220 is the marketing exam, which covers a lot of concepts that if you've worked in marketing, you'll probably be familiar with. You'll just learn how these concepts are represented and configured within Dynamics. So this includes like segments and lists, forms, web pages, leads, emails, customer journeys, which is a feature that tracks a customer's interaction with any of your campaign materials from the start when they first touch like an email or they open an email, and then events and customer response. Okay. All right, so this is our MV230, which is our customer service. So customer service kind of covers cases, the knowledge base, queues, entitlements, and SLAs, which is how you kind of track a customer's metrics on response times, and then usually voice of the customer too. So again, just to reiterate, the top line is really that MV200, which we kind of already covered. Okay, then finally, we'll talk a little bit about Dynamics 365 field service. So MV240 is our field service exam, and it specifically covers how to kind of manage and track work against a mobile workforce. This course covers work orders, mobility, inventory, assets, and agreements. Okay, I've put together a slide and with all the kind of learning resources that we have for model-driven apps for functional consultant exams, all here together on the same slide. So we've got all of our exam pages that you can land on. And then we've got classroom training. These are all our ILT. So if you decide you want to go into take a classroom training with one of our learning partners. And then we have the certification pages as well as the exam. And then we also have on the right is the Microsoft Learn. So for each one of these, there's a learning path that you can do the self-paced learn. Okay, now we're going to chat a little bit about finance and operation applications. There are 3 areas that we have training in currently. We have finance, supply chain management, manufacturing, and which is actually a subset of the supply chain management app, which is why it's kind of written out like that. But it's such a big functional area that it has its own certification. All right, these are pretty technically heavy exams for finance. We talk a lot about implementing common tools and configuring the product in MV300, which is kind of the prerequisite exam for the F&O applications. Again, you have to take that in order to take one of the app exams. And then we kind of move into the finance specific exam on operations, which is the MB210. This includes concepts like working with accounts, accounts payable and receivables, budgeting, and fixed assets. I always think that the hardest part of the finance exam is that it doesn't just require a lot of product knowledge, it requires a lot of knowledge about accounting and general finance processes. So, you know, if you're into those finance processes, then this is definitely the exam for you. So the manufacturing exam is MB320 and covers some of the same general topics in the finance exam with the 300, but it also includes security and configuration, common implementation tools, data migration, and batch production, batch orders, or processes, production, batch orders. Sorry, I said that in the wrong order. You know, these will be common across a lot of F&O exams, but then we'll learn about working, you know, with the actual the supply chain stuff in the part below. And finally, we have our MB330, which is our supply chain management exam. And it really covers the inventory management, supply chain processes, warehouse management, and transportation management. So again, if you're into and you have a lot of knowledge around the supply chain management, these are two of the exams that would be definitely that you should look at. Okay, and then these are the MV300 series exams. Remember that it begins with taking the MV300 exam, which is the core product configuration exam, and it's kind of the MB200's counterpart. And then you move on to the 310, 320, and 330, which are finance, manufacturing, and supply chain, respectively. We have both instructor-led classroom training and online MS Learn training for these exams as well. So this is a great resource page for you. All right. Now we're going to have, that we've have all the functional consultant exams covered, we're going to move on to developer. Currently, we have two exams, both at the associate level, and they both actually share a core exam. So if you're getting certified as either a functional consultant or a developer, you should take the same prereq, which is either MB200 for the model-driven customer engagement apps or MB300 for the finance and operation apps. While functional consultants kind of configure and design Dynamics 365 or Power Platform products per a customer's business requirements, a developer will actually use code to extend the product. And these can include like customer user experiences, integrations, automations, or visualizations. So the key difference here is that while they both work technically within the product, developers generally use code to do it, and the functional consultants work within that configuration abilities of the product without code. You know, obviously in the real world, there can be a lot of overlap between those positions, but this is a formal definition developed by our subject matter experts, and this is kind of how it broke out. All right, let's talk about MV400. This is our Power Apps and Dynamics 365 Developer Certification. You'll notice at the top of the top line of the fishbone stays the same as the functional consultant exams because you still have to take that MB200 exam. So it's exactly the same. But after that, you'll move into more technical concepts related to creating the technical design, manipulating the data and applications, automating processes, and extending the platform via integrations or customer user experiences. Okay. Again, on the, this is our finance and operations developer one, and this exam has, which is MV500, has the F&O prereq, the MV300, so that top line of the fishbone is the same core that you have to take as the functional exam. And then we dive into the architecture and solution designing, tooling, developing and testing code, creating custom reports, and working with data. And then there's measuring security and performance. So all of those are going to be on that MB500 exam. Very, very technical. And again, these exams are listed in their with their prerequisite at the top, and we also offer both learn and classroom training for these exams. The links are here so you can refer back to them at any time. And you can also find all of this on our web pages. Okay, so finally, our last suite of certification offerings are the Solution Architect certifications. Like our other certifications, we have two different exams. One is the model-driven customer engagement apps, and the one is for the finance and operation apps. These are usually very experienced consultants who lead the implementation and work closely with the business to manage stakeholders and drive the overall design. I think what's interesting is a lot of what solution architectures do is not dependent on the product. They're more process-based or business management skills. Architects need to know the ins and outs of the project management, stakeholder management, business analysis, and requirement gathering. And these skills are very similar from either a customer engagement side or for the F&O perspective. So these exams, and by extension, the training, have a lot of common themes. In the industry, though, these two roles are usually separate. However, a solution architect would either specialize in the model-driven apps, the CRM stuff, or on the finance side. So they're separate certifications and exams, and the content does diverge based on the differences between the two applications. Okay, these are our first expert level certifications. So you actually have to have a couple prerequisites. So again, you either have to be certified in one of the functional consultants before you get into there. So either the developer or one of the 4 functional consultants. And then you sit for the MV600 or MV700 Solution Architect exam, and it doesn't matter which cert you get. It can be any of the associate level certs. It just needs to match the path that you're on. So for example, if you're certified as a sales functional consultant, then you'd want to move into the Power Apps and Dynamics 365 Solution Architect and not the Finance and Operations Solution Architect. And this prerequisite just proves that you have the technical and product knowledge to be a solution architect. Usually architects are people who move their way up those roles, and it's important to have the base product knowledge before leading the implementations. The MV700 exam is virtually the same. You get certified in one of the associate level of finance and operations certifications to prove that you have the technical product knowledge, and then you sit for the MV700 exam. So very similar. Again, you have to have either the developer or one of the functional consultant ones. So these are both fairly new exams that launched in the January-February timeframe. We do have all the resources available now. I believe there's one learning path for each one on our websites, as well as classroom training for each one. And you can find, it does say coming soon, but I'm pretty sure this slide just didn't get updated, and we do have ILT training now for both. And that is it. So hopefully I've given you enough information about Dynamics and Power Platform certifications. And if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Nancy, for that wonderful presentation. And okay, so it's quite interesting. And then, if anyone have question, Nancy is here. You can ask a question regarding certifications around Dynamics 365 and platform.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
Yeah. I just wondered. It was a good presentation. Thank you very much for that. I just wondered, you've spoken about the certifications and training and online training and classroom training. In terms of price, okay, if I was to take this exam in Nigeria or if I was to take in the UK, would there be a price difference?
I believe the price for certifications in US dollar is 165. I don't know what that translates to different areas, but it should be similar across every country. It shouldn't be more expensive in one country than the other. You can do it online now. You know, during this time, we've kind of shifted from testing centers to online proctoring, and they've really opened and increased their capacity in the last couple of months. But I do believe there are some testing centers that are kind of coming open now, so you can either get to a testing center or you can do online proctoring if you don't have a testing center in your area.
Right.
But yes, the price should be similar across every country. And then I will give you a little bit of information. We often, as we have new exams come out, we do what's called a beta code. And so what that means is when we launch a new exam, we need to kind of test it and make sure that it's solid. And so we offer a huge discount. It's like 80% off. And we give a beta code out in our blog. So if you're familiar with our Microsoft.com WAC, learning blog, you can go there and watch every time that we announce a new exam. You'll be able to get a beta code, and it's like the first 500 people that schedule with that beta code will get a huge discount.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much for that. And in terms of preparing for these exams, right? Would it be possible to get access to say practice papers or practice tests and stuff like that?
Yes, we do
and
have.
where from?
They're on measurup.com, which is kind of our main place that we have those. And I've been working. Dynamics only has about 4 today practice exams, but we've just funded, and I'm working to get all but 3 done by the end of the fiscal. So our fiscal is into June. So in 6 weeks' time, we should have the majority of practice exams for Dynamics and Power Platform. And then in FY21, which starts our July timeframe, you get the final 3 completed, and then we should be on track as soon as we launch an exam within 3 or 4 weeks after that, there would be a practice exam.
All right. Okay. Was that MeasureUp? You said MeasureUp.com?
Yeah, MeasureUp.com.
Okay, because I've been trying to take the finance one, and I've actually found it very difficult to find any past questions on the 310, which is the finance module.
Yeah.
Everything I came across is either, obviously, it will be, you get a charge for it, but to actually get something legitimate from the Microsoft website is very difficult for the 310.
You mean question-wise on the Microsoft?
Yeah. Question, exam, practice sheet, practice exam sheet, tests.
Yeah.
They're all over the website. You don't know which one's fake. You don't know which one's not. But it'd be nice to get something from the Microsoft website to say, right, okay, this is a more valid paper you can play around with or test with. I can't say the 300 is fine, which is the core finance. You can find something on the website, but not for the 310.
Yeah, like I said, I'm working really hard. We just funded to get all those practice exams done, and then we're also trying to create. And Hamad might have seen this. We recently presented it in an MCT situation or meeting. Sorry, We're coming out with what we're calling a customer learning journey. And it basically will take a learner. It's going to be kind of a PowerPoint document that kind of links everything. And it'll take you from the beginning of like where your entry point is. Are you brand new to Dynamics, or did you just complete, maybe MV300? And then it takes you along the journey and telling you, here's where all the resources are. Here's where the practice exam is. Here's what you need to know. And then, here's where your exam is. So we're kind of trying to make it a better experience for our customers to find everything a little bit easier, because our Learn site, is a work in progress, and it's a great platform, but it definitely needs a little more information. So we're trying to help build that out.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
Thank you very
Hello,
much,
Nancy.
Nancy. I think the learning for MCT, that would be perfect. Thank you very much. We are looking forward to that.
Nancy, I have a doubt. Sorry, I wrote the MV200 exam on Thursday, and in the Microsoft dashboard, I can see that the score is pending, but from the exam center, I can see that I passed the exam. I don't know what's wrong with the dashboard.
I would say you might want to check with the support team. Usually it doesn't take that long to get the score up on the dashboard, but there should be a support number, and you can escalate with them, and they should be able to help you. But if you know that you've passed it, you've definitely passed it. It may just be taking a little bit.
In between, the system got stuck for a while, and I contacted the exam service, center guys, and they came and resolved the issue. I don't know whether that is the case. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I would check with our support team, and I can send Hamad the support number after this call, because I need to go look it up. I don't have it off the top of my head. I apologize, but I'll send that to him, and he can send it out to all of you.
Okay, I'm from South Africa. I'm not from Nigeria.
That's fine. It's a support number that it's based here in Redmond, but they'll help anybody in the world.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Hamid. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. Hello, Hamid.
I can hear you.
Hello. Okay, hi,
We can
Nancy.
hear you.
Good evening this way. Good evening this way, Nancy.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Nancy, thank you so much for this presentation. I've been looking forward to this. Now, I have had just one challenge. I wanted to, I'm a finance person, so I wanted to go this finance and operations route.
Mm-hmm.
But then I discovered that I was just stuck with Microsoft Learn, because every opportunity or every time I try to, get an instructor-led training, the cost is usually very prohibitive, very high, very high. And it has discouraged me a lot. So I have had to restrict my preparation for the exam to Microsoft Learn. And I still believe in instructor-led training. So apart from that, I also still think that if we have access to a live environment, maybe like a demo or something that we could use in the preparation for the exams, it could help us get a feel, bring it closer home, make it real to us while we prepare for the exam. So those are the two concerns I've been having, and that is why it's been taking me quite a while to register for the exam. But I don't know if there is anything you can do to advise on this.
Okay. So the first part of the question, you said the ILT was a little bit cost prohibitive for you. And then the second part, say that again.
The second part is there like a live lab or something where we could have a hands-on practice with Dynamics 365, like hands-on, so that we get a feel of the real thing, and then it's not just all book head knowledge. We know that, okay, this is how it looks, this is how it feels in real world.
Got it. So there is hands-on practice once you're in the classroom. So it does give you that experience. You get a, sorry, and I'm not super technical, a lot of this stuff, but I believe it's called the tenant. And so it gives you access into the environment, so where you can take the hands-on lab during the class, and then have about 30 days, I think you get with it, to kind of practice and get prepared for the exam. So that is the case. But going back to number one, the ILT being maybe a little bit cost prohibitive, let me see if I can find out if we have any offers going or anything like that, and get back to this group with anything like that. I don't know currently if we have any offers or what that's going on, but let me try to find out and then get back to this group.
That'd be great. Thank you very much, Nancy.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
In addition to that, Gochiku, and for the practical training you're asking about, I think just like Nancy said, you can have a trial version for 30 days, and also you can also extend once, like so, which means going to have like a 3 months practical section with a trial version as well. I think within 2 months, you'll be able to, when you do continuous practical, you should be able to get you prepared for your examination.
Okay. What's no credit card required or anything?
No, not really. So I think I'm going to post here on the chat where you can actually just do a trial version for a month. Then after that, you can also extend for another moment.
Yeah, that is true. You
That'd
can
be
do
great.
the trial. I forgot about that. You can do the trial for like a month too.
Okay then. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Ugochukwu's raised a very good point there. It's Tunde again here. I'm based in the UK, and he's raised a very good point about access to a test lab. I'm fortunate to have access to a test lab, right? But we still have to pay for it. It doesn't come free. And then what you're talking about, Hamid, about the trial lab, it's very, very watered down. I've seen it. There's not a lot you can do on it. In terms of doing real stuff, if you want to take the core exam, which is the 300, you need to have access to things like your data management, system administration, GL, AP. You need full functionality to be able to walk through practice exam. To play around with, to get through the exam. It's needed. But I don't think I've seen the site you're talking about. It's very watered down and doesn't have the full functionality and the full capability for you to get through the exam. If it's changed over the last few months, then that'd be a good thing. But the last time I saw it was sometime in December last year, and it just wasn't good enough for the exam.
Okay. I'm not sure about the problem of maybe restriction or something. So I've been using the trial version for quite a while, for close to 2 or 3 years now. When anytime I want to write exam, so when I subscribe for the trial version, I have full control of the administration part, customizing system. I'm talking about mostly from the CRM part. I'm not sure about the ERP part, but I'm sure you can look stuff for there's a trial version for ERP parts, because I think I did that last 2 weeks ago, and then so I'm not aware of this restriction or something, but of course it's a trial version, and then but I believe that can actually quite resourceful for examination. It has been, for now, like the trial version, you can still use it to prepare for exams. I'm not sure. I don't know if you may not have maybe in the future, maybe then there's something that I have in the plan already to have that another maybe like a demo environment or something where people can have access to for a longer period of time. So, but currently, what is available that I know that can actually prepare people for exam, it can still be used of a trial version.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but that would be great if you can look into that for the sake of everyone in this room. And also, just before you go, I know I'm saying a lot, I was also looking into the possibility of a classroom exam for this. And there is a provider in the UK called Firebrand. They're probably meant to be one of the good or better ones around. In terms of the price, it was 4,500. That is a lot. I'm not talking about pounds sterling here. How many people can afford £4,500 on a course to get through these exams?
Yeah.
That's a crazy amount of money just to get through this exam. So a lot of people are now resorting to going to learn themselves. Trying to get through using Learn or using docs.microsoft.com. I think there's a lot of information there. There's a lot of information in this. It's very resourceful, but what will make it even more attractive to people to take exams will have that practical experience on a lab,
right.
on a lab environment.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I think that's one of the things that we're trying to work with our learning partners on, because we do understand it's not always affordable for everyone. We are focused a lot on businesses, so a lot of businesses, pay for their people to get trained. But I do think that the Learn is a good place to start. And there is some kind of hands-on labs within Learn too that will give you a little bit, it launches a tenant within the Learn system. So that does help you a little bit as well. And I also would say, and maybe I can come up with a list of open hacks too. Like I understand doing some open hacks is a good way to try to get trained. So I'll go back to my team and see if there's anything around that that they would recommend. But yeah, let me work. I'll come back and see if I can find out if there's any offers and things like that within your area too.
Okay, thank you very much, Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and any other question, guys? And see Shay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Nancy. It was a great session, though I didn't get to join on time, but I later came in. I also want to put an ask, maybe as you are trying to plan the dynamic space in Africa, especially in Nigeria. There's a lot of adoption move in terms of people, especially with the business central that is coming, making it affordable for companies to see